All right, brother, I got a little problem right there. My inner axle seal's coming out. It almost looks like it's turning with the damn... I got to, I don't know what that's all about. Oh, yeah, see the movement right there? What the hell? Oh, man. Look at this, Dwayne. Oh, shit. Well, I used the pry bar, and I pushed in the axle tube seal. Now what's strange is, see all that axle shaft right there, how shiny it is? I'm guessing that the boot, I'm hoping it looks like about 3/8 of the boot has just been ground down to nothing. You know, I was having some problems. Look at that. I can't believe that. You know, I was having some problems with this front, and you might recall I had some drag, and I changed the caliper. I'll show you the other side. Yeah, so I just pulled it out right there. It's just flopping in there. You can see the aluminum is all ground down. Look at that. Ground aluminum. All right, what's going on with Recon One today? Kind of a strange thing. I haven't been wheeling with it. Now here's my problem right here, okay? Got, I don't know, maybe about 200 miles on the road, just kind of testing it out. And you can see that the, I'm gonna zoom in there, the RCV tube seal. Shot, man. I mean, I don't know, clearly all of a sudden something gave way and it must have been spinning. It must have been spinning with the axle shaft. So it's loose, it's rattly, a lot of aluminum got ground down off of this thing. So I ordered some new ones, but not RCV. I'm done paying RCV crazy money. But it also wore down. You can see the shininess on the axle shaft. Notice the RCV boot. It basically, through heat, through the axle shaft, through this metal seal spinning against the boot, it ruined the boot and it annihilated about 3/8 of an inch of the boot. I found an extra boot that I have, so I got to pull this thing out. So obviously this boot, which protects the CV joint, is compromised. It would let water in, and this is the one I just rebuilt. It's got 200 miles on it only. So kind of found this the other night when I had it out in the driveway, so I want to address it. Thing's annihilated. Well, like I said before, normally you can't get these damn RCVs without separating the boot and pulling it through the hole in the knuckle. But when you have the advantage of the ball joint deletes, you can get this up movement right here on the upper. And that, of course, allows me to pull the knuckle out. Now, obviously, the new joint's turning nice, but I got to pull this bad boy out. And that's the culprit. I want to get that thing out of there. Okay, that's really sorry to see that. That's all freaking aluminum and grease right there on the axle shaft from where this tube seal, just for whatever reason, started spinning. Wow, wait till I pull that out and we really check the damage in this thing. I just don't even get it. You know, once in a while I was throwing grease in this flat needle Zerk valve right there. I don't know if all of a sudden it bound up, and then that, while the axle shaft was turning, it started spinning the tube seal. But there you go. And then obviously I need to take this boot off. So let's get this thing out and assess the damage here and get the end of this axle tube cleared out. All right, so happily we're okay here. But look at this. Look at the freaking damage here on this. This is all aluminum. So I gotta carefully unskewer this, being real careful of the splines. Probably hit it with some brake cleaner. You can see where it was riding right here. Freaking disaster, man. I've had these things in 3.5, 4 years. Needless to say, I was I was shocked about this. That, for whatever reason, is the horrific failure of an RCV outer axle tube seal. These things go for about, well, when I bought them a few years ago, they were $114. All right, let's get this thing off. All right, look at the difference here, okay? There's the worn down boot. There's the replacement. I mean, 3/8 of an inch gone. And you can see all the wear and tear. Now, obviously, there'll be a new seal going in there, and it's just to keep some of the muck out. I mean, this isn't the end of the world, having some scoring right here. The important thing is right in this area, that's where it goes through the inner axle seal, and the splines and everything's fine. Spent a little time cleaning up the inside of the axle tube and vacuuming it out and so forth. So now I'm just waiting for my tube seals, my new tube seals to come in. Okay, just like that, I put the axle shaft in the vise. I use a rubber mallet. You could hear the air compress out, and she's sealed up, so that's pretty good. Nice. All right, that's where I'll leave her today. Everything's cleaned up nice. The axle tube, everything's in the go position. RCV axle shaft all cleaned up. New boot, not brand new, but used, but obviously the other one is completely shot. Should be no problem. I had nice compression when it pressed onto the bell end. Unit bearing, all the parts. Everything's in the go position. So, got new tube seals coming. Obviously, I'm just going to put the one on this side. I'm not going to take that driver's side RCV out. I haven't had any problems with it. So, we're just sitting in the go position here. All right, we do have to talk about that. Look at this. So clearly, this thing, now, when you see those grooves, 3 O-rings go in there, and when I installed this thing, this is just amazing to me. I don't understand it. Clearly, it just started rolling around and bouncing around, and as the diameter got smaller, there was more and more movement, but it's annihilated. Basically, there's a snap ring there and washers, and these rubber gaskets are in there, and that's where the grease goes. It spreads out inside there. I'll pull that needle Zerk fitting out too. That can come in handy. Okay, you can see I took the snap ring off. I'm gonna pull this apart. Metal plate, some gasketing material that makes a groove for the grease to go in, but this is absolute epic failure. I just don't even get it. But there you go. Guess you can see what happens if this thing starts to spin with an axle shaft spinning inside there. This thing must have been spinning with the axle shaft and moving up and down and just got completely destroyed. Let's pop this apart and see what it looks like. All right, you can see that's the next piece right there. Wow. Get a screwdriver and pry up the other washer. You can see there's like a little keyway that everything slides in. So you got, I think, another metal layer, then another rubber layer. We'll get it all apart. But basically what it does, it creates a little channel so that when you use the needle grease gun attachment, the grease goes in this groove in this channel. Let's keep taking it apart. All right, there you go. So you got a metal piece, a rubber gasket, a metal piece, a rubber gasket, then the end metal piece. There's a keyway where it all lines up, then this clip, and that keeps everything compressed right in there. So in theory, no problem there, and I've greased it many, many times over the years. And then on this exterior, there's 3 O-rings that are in here, and you can see they're just completely gone. They must have just burnt up probably some of the debris that I cleaned up, as well as a lot of these chunks of aluminum inside the axle tube. I took a vacuum hose and vacuumed it up and used a rag and some brake cleaner and very carefully cleaned it up. But glad I got that out. Glad I noticed it. So we'll put a new seal in. I kind of excited to see how it's going to be, and hopefully we don't see this kind of epic failure again. All right, that's it. Till next time.